What's going on, everybody? It's Childish back out of the game, coming at you with another video for Summoner's War. And in today's video, as promised, we're going to give you guys all the tips and tricks that I learned along the way to take my C2 RTA account to a G1 RTA account. So for those that get a chance to check out the last video here, we have switched from just a regular variety composition to the Swift Verde meta / call / whatever you want to call it here. And it's allowed me to catapult my rank into the G1 ranks here. So before we get into that, though, I do want to do a quick announcement here. For 3 to 4 months ago, Amazon App Store, which is essentially one of the main sponsors that I do on my channel when it comes to Amazon coins and getting discounts on packs, whatnot. 3 to 4 months ago, they made an announcement, a super big announcement, talking about the collaboration between Amazon and Microsoft, and essentially allowing you guys to play all the games you have grown to love here that you would generally, download on the Amazon App Store. Now you can play it on the PC. If you have a Windows 11 application here on your PC, you can go ahead and essentially download the games that you want to via the Microsoft Store here. So I want to give a big shout out to the Amazon App Store for sponsoring this video. Again, if you guys are looking to play Summoner's War or any of the game that you guys love to play that you can download on the Amazon App Store and you have Windows 11, now you can do it right here. So again, super simple, right? Going down to the top left corner, go into the search, go to the Microsoft Store, and essentially, just like you would see on the iOS or Android, you're going to go up here, search whatever game you want here, Summoners War, Amazon App Store, and if you have Windows 11, it's going to come up here so that you can go ahead and, essentially download it and play it like any other application can. And just in case you didn't see it, now for all of my videos moving forward, there will be an official Amazon Coins offer link in the description down below if you guys want to go ahead and utilize that in order to save up to 20% on your Summoners War packs in-game. Now, let's go ahead and get into my list here. We are doing some farming on the side. We're not really going to show any RT on the side because I made myself professional list because I want to make sure I don't miss anything, okay? So first and foremost, top 10 tips. Not really top 10, but my best tips, whatever you want to call this video, right? As far as this particular comp. If you're utilizing a composition like this, then I think these tips are going to really help you out. Now, the first tip is the golden tip, okay? This is the tip that you use for any specific composition you use, and not just a Swift Verde meta here, okay? Rune requirement, rune prioritization, all that wrapped up, okay? That's huge, that's big, okay? Let's keep it short and simple, okay? Regardless of what strategy you're trying to employ, turn 1 cleave, turn 2, bruiser, whatever the case may be, if you are not investing the best runes on your best units, you are not going to be able to do what we're trying to do here, right? If you're like, you know what, Childish, I like this comp, I got some of these units, I want to go and use it, but I do like this other crowd control comp that I'm doing with some heavy CC. I do like this with the bruiser comp that you can't make it happen, man. You got to go all in on a specific comp, okay? Because at the end of the day, we only have a limited amount of runes, so we got to make the best of it by utilizing our runes on the strongest unit possible. The units that provide a really strong, synergistic, like setup, right? So that's what you want to go for, okay? Now, when it comes to this specific strategy, right? And I think this is going to be a lot of strategies when it comes to turn 2 comps here. Tip number 2, speed tuning, okay? I say it 3 times because some people here are like, okay, let me push it to the side, right? No, you got to speed tune, okay? One of the things that I've done along the way when it comes to turn 1 comps is that I just kind of assumed that because I'm using, an attack bar booster like Bastet or whatever the case might be for a turn 1 comp, I'm like, oh, I can be off by a little speed. It's no big deal. But of course, there's units in the game that can essentially interrupt your strategy and whatnot here. And if things are not speed tuned, right, like a Antares per se, like a Water Reader per se, like a Hagang per se, if you're not speed tuned, you're gonna get cut. Your whole strategy is gonna be messed up, and you're gonna be sitting there crying like I was the other day when I lost a match I should have won here. All right, so speed tune your units again within 1 speed if you can, and if this means taking some of your units that potentially could be at plus 175 plus 180 and having to bring them down to like 172 so everything is speed tuned within 1, that's what you got to do. Because I'll tell you right now, there are some of the matches that I probably should have lost because of the fact that I went up against a Hagang, and even with the strip on Hagang and getting the attack bar here, I didn't get cut. I was able to follow through and I was able to secure the win here. So it's really paramount, really important that you guys are speed tuned properly. If you can't speed tune super high, make the adjustment, drop a little speed, find out that medium amount there that you need to get everything speed tuned, okay? So again, getting back to this particular setup here, we're running essentially a triple stripper with Verde and another attack bar manipulator, right? And so when it comes to essentially what we're trying to do here, essentially 60% of our composition is relying upon strippers, right? Being able to strip the opponent, control the opponent, trap the opponent with a scroll trap or manipulate their attack bar. A lot of things that heavily rely on accuracy. So if you guys haven't figured out by now, you cannot create a composition like this without making sure that you have that accuracy here. So making sure you have 85% accuracy. I actually have mine at 100%, but 85 minimum in order for you to make this successful. Because there's nothing more like tilting than getting the jump on somebody, using your strippers, and all of them derping. Because literally, if they derp, that's it. It's over. You can't do anything. You can't control anything. You have to make sure that you're accurate, okay? Don't cut it short. Again, this stems to the original point there. Rune requirement has to be there. You have to have the high quality runes. They have to be accurate. They have to be efficient. You have to have it all, okay? ATB manager. So again, I'm sure you guys have seen it by now. With this particular comp here, Water Ryu, we're using Water Ryu, Verde, Chung Pung, we're using Jogun, and we're using Ziana. Now, sometimes I even incorporate, if not Ziana, I utilize Charlotte, which is another fantastic attack bar manipulator. Now, one of the things that I get myself in a situation is once I get the first turn, once I get the strip with the Water Ryu, let's say I have myself Chung Pung as well as Charlotte here, right? Chung Pung obviously is gonna, reduce the attack bars here and get the resets here, but Charlotte, to follow through, also has the opportunity to utilize skill 3 for the attack bar manipulation and get the attack bar improvement as well. So in more situations than not, one of the things that I did originally was, use skill 3 just so I can get the attack bar boost for Verde and kind of cycle through. But honestly, because of the fact that I'm utilizing Charlotte for not just attack bar manipulation, but control via the stuns with skill 2, sometimes you might find it in a better situation to where you can utilize that skill 2, stun them, and then allow Verde to, hit afterwards, get the attack bar manipulation. And then once you cycle through, have Charlotte do her skill 3 afterwards to get more attack bar reduction, more attack bar improvement on your end. And then again, Verde follow through and just keep on cycling over and over again. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that you might have, in this particular composition, you might be utilizing certain units that have different methods of attack bar manipulation. If they both are an option to you, obviously utilize the one that you want to use first, make sure it's speed tuned correctly, and then, take a look at the playing field, see what got reset, see what needs to be controlled. If you need to control, lock them down. When everybody got reset, and you're just like, I just want to go ahead and cycle through, then go and use the skill 3 to cycle through. I was a big mistake that I made early on, and I kind of regret a couple of the matches that I feel like I lost here, because if I had that opportunity to use a unit like Charlotte per se that can provide attack bar manipulation on both ends, I probably could have gotten the jump on somebody to allow it. And it's very, very important because of some of you guys that have noticed by now, utilizing like a unit like Jogun, it's allowed me to manipulate my attack bar so much that once a unit comes out of scroll trap, by the time they come out, I'm able to scroll trap again because we manipulated the attack bars like perfectly. Okay. Now, next tip that we got for you is tip number 5, right? Because tip number 4 was ATB management. Tip number 5 is going to be some auto bans here. Okay, at the end of the day, there's going to be some units out there that are going to be outrageously toxic. And as much as you guys hate the Fire Ryu is essentially not a flat out auto ban. But 2 units that I would say that are completely auto banned is going to be Ragdoll number 1 and Jackson number 2. Okay, and for those of you guys that don't know who Jackson is, that is the Dark Sky Surfer that is essentially like similar to Ragdoll, where essentially they get some attack bar manipulation on their end when there's some attack bar reduction or whatnot here. So but obviously, without question, utilizing a unit like Verde, which is going to be critting all the time, you have to take advantage of banning the Ragdoll if it comes out there, because you don't want to give him any kind of free ATB whatsoever here. Next thing up, tip number 6 is Verde targets, right? As you guys know, Verde is a primary component of this lineup here, and Verde, in order for this to work successfully, you have to have a target that Verde can utilize to go ahead and get that attack bar. So what I'm trying to say is that when they try to throw up a lineup that's super bruisery, right? They got the Wusa, they got the Diana, they got the Abilio, and then they bring out like another random water unit Viger and a whatever. They don't bring out. But if they bring out like another water unit, whatnot, as much as Diana can be outrageously toxic there to you, you might consider banning somebody else, because at the end of the day, you need a target for Verde to do his thing. If he goes all water, you're in deep trouble, because you're not going to get that attack mark manipulation that you're looking for because of the fact that you're trying to quit on, you're trying to crit on the water use. So make sure that you do leave an opportunity here. I know I've been in situations to where I've had, the Diana, Molly, Fire Ryu, and it's just been, it's all super scary, all super toxic. And, if everything works out, we get the control, we get the stuns, we should be able to secure the win. But at the very least, we need to make sure that regardless of what we're doing, there's always a target for Verde Hill to hit on that's not super scary, that you could take advantage of the attack bar manipulation, okay? Tip number 7, scroll trapping, okay? If you guys use Jogun in this spot, I want to throw this out there because, again, it is a crucial part of this component. And if you're not familiar with that, right, we're manipulating the attack bar quite a bit here, but the scroll trapping on specific units essentially takes away that threat, right, and allows us to essentially just kind of work on the secondary threats without dealing with the one thing that can potentially like screw up the plane, screw up the whole match here. So the cool thing about Jogun, if you guys don't use it already, is basically that the scroll trap, once you lock it down here, like the speed at which it comes back, it's actually relatively slow. And funny enough, I think they recently like improved it so that it comes back a little bit faster here. But at the end of the day, I've realized that with the units that we would generally use in this type of setup, you can essentially get back scroll trap by the time that the scroll trap ends on somebody else here. So it's really, really important for you guys to know that if you guys are going to be using that unit here. And again, making sure that you're picking the right unit perfectly, because you don't want to do it on somebody that's going to be that's not going to really make no difference here. So for example, I would say when it comes to a particular unit that I would trap, a lot of units that I'm going to trap is going to be supports. I'm going to trap rallies. I'm going to trap Musas. I might even make an argument to trap Junos, because again, Junos, right, they're generally built on the spare revenge. We can't really control them per se when it comes to stuns, and all of our units, or the majority of our units, are on the spare. So that unit between the revenging, the AoEs, it has the potential to disrupt us, stun us. So that is another option as well here. Next one up, tip number 8. Actually, let me go back to that. Scroll trapping, one of the things that I learned from apps as well is that when you get that opportunity, you get that first turn and you do your scroll traps, or you have the opportunity to use scroll trap and do it, most people would opt to try to use a scroll trap right away. And then because you get the additional turn, go ahead and use skill 3. One of the things that I learned real quick was that it's not super important to scroll trap right away, because if you have everything in your lineup, you're going to be able to strip it, control the attack bars, and then by the time you get the next turn, get a jump on through, you can scroll trap, and it will allow you to cycle into the skill 3 a little bit quicker here. So again, make sure that you guys are super aware about that. Scroll trapping is really nice when you get the opportunity to, but don't just jump into it if it's available. Sometimes it's actually better for you to go skill 3 and then wait to go skill 2 into skill 3 next round. Yeah. Tip number 8, wheel runes. Wheel runes. So I think let me go ahead and reset my farming here, because that's what I do, right? I forget to reset it here. We gotta click that, boom, boom, boom. So farming, let me teach you guys some farming tips here. No, wheel runes, right? This is again a no-brainer here, but we gotta point it out, because I know that somebody's gonna be like, oh my god, I gotta know wheel runes. Yeah. So wheel runes, turn 1 calm. Is it important? Is it not? If you're confident in your ability, right, to get the jump on the people, then maybe wheel runes are not too important for you. But if you're at a rank or finding yourself in situations to where you are contesting for tier 1 quite a bit, and you're still committed to using that strategy, then yes, wheel runes are important. So again, similar to what we talked about when it comes to speed tuning and making sure that you are having everything speed tuned within 1. If you have the option to speed tune maybe at 175, or you can go down to 172 on wheel, and you can get 172 on wheel for everybody, then yeah, I would definitely do that, because there are going to be certain situations to where they may outspeed, or they may ban correctly, they may ban the vertical incorrectly, and you're not able to get the jump on them even with the speed lead. So having that wheel allows you to essentially prevent any kind of control that they have on their end, and then get the jump on them after they've taken a couple of turns or so. If the option is definitely out there, then definitely do so. If not, it's understandable, because at the end of the day, you're going turn 1, so your goal is to get turn 1, secure the playing field, and really not worried. You're not really super focused on will. But if you're kind of in that wishy-washy situation, then that'd be the tip I got for you. Tip number 9, and this is a serious thing that we got to point out there when it comes to picking and banning. Okay, picking and banning here. Your overall strategy when it comes to RTA. Be prepared to pivot. Be prepared to pivot. You got to have options, right? As you guys know, when we set up this particular comp, I got 5 main units right there. Water Ryu, Fire and Wind Art Master, right? We got the Verde, we got the Ziana. But if you think those are the 5 units that I got ruined up, then you out your mind, okay? Obviously, I have some different additional options, some other speed leads, some other units out there that play well against the people that are primarily wind water, people that are primarily water fire, so on and so forth here. So you got to have other options, but you also got to be ready to pivot completely from your overall strategy, right? So if you go Water Ryu, right, and this guy goes Vertihill Chung Pung, right, he literally took away 2 out of your 5 main units, and you gotta make a decision. Is this guy taking your units because he knows what kind of strategy you're trying to employ, or is he taking them because he was trying to do that same kind of strategy and he has maybe other options or whatnot here? So you got to have a couple of turn 2 setups here in your arsenal, and the good thing about it is when it comes to setting up this turn 1 Swift Vertihill meta strategy versus turn 2, you're gonna have, you're not gonna be using the same runes that you generally ruse on it, right? I'm using a ton of despair, a handful of Swift here, but when it comes to my turn 2 comps, a lot of them are gonna be on violent, high resistant, super tanky, very efficient. Like, so there's not gonna be too much overlapping there on those runes per se. You should have a fair amount of runes that you can still put on units there for a turn 2 setup here. So you got to pivot. It's kind of scary. The first 60 wings, I really didn't have too much resistance when it comes to turn 1. But once I saw specific people, especially people that I played in the past, I was like, nope, this is a turn 1 player. I know he outspeeds me on any given day. So I'm definitely going to go turn 2 here and make some adjustments here. So then last but not least, I think this is one that we all know, like we don't want to hear it, but we need to hear, because it's so easy to do in a turn 1 setup here. Last tip, the serious tip right here: never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Don't just sit here. Turn 1 strategy, right? Turn 1 strategy. At the end of the day, there's going to be some derps, right? There's going to be some missed strips, some missed attack bar manipulation. You're trying to utilize Charlotte to attack bar, and you get triple glancing, triple resist on a fire bison. You're like, oh man, it's over. But because of how your team is set up, in this kind of way, you still might be able to lap them a few times and get your skills back and be able to do it. I mean, unless you get controlled, you lose 2 units out the get-go, and the 2 units were pretty crucial to your particular setup or something like that, then yeah, you can give it. But normally, guys, I never give up, right? We don't give up until the fat lady sings or whatever it's called. I forget. You know what I'm saying? Just keep in there. Take the time to understand what happened, why did things mess up, and try to make some adjustments down the road. Moving forward here. Again, that's one of the things that we constantly see when it comes to like SWC matches and whatnot here, right? If you guys remember various SWC matches, you will know when the match is over here, but the people don't quit. They take their time, think about what happened, think about any kind of adjustment they can make so they can take it to the next match, adapt and succeed. So I hope these 10 tips helped you. Again, I know there's going to be a lot more tips here, and once again, we'll definitely try to get apps on board so we can do some more videos for you guys. But I just want to talk about some of the big things that I've learned along the way with this particular lineup. Now, if you guys got any tips for the community out there that you guys use a particular strategy as well, please leave a comment in the comment section down below so we can help everybody out that are looking to build this composition here. And again, I think I'll try to go a little bit more in details in a future video as far as some of the alternative units that you can utilize if you don't have all the units that I've been showing or apps been showing or other people that utilize this Swift Verde meta have been showing as well. Okay, that's going to be it, fam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish at ChildishPlays. Check it out. Take care, and we'll see you all in the next one. We're out.